Hi everyone, welcome to my Flosstube. My name is Rachel and this is Lemonade Stitching. Today is February 15th, 2024, and so this is going to be my mid-February update. It's going to have progress from end of January and beginning of February, and I have lots of projects to show you, so I'm just going to go ahead and jump right in. So first, I do have an FFO this month. This is February by Crochet Agogo. And this is how I finished it. I think I showed you guys the finished piece in my January video, but I finally have it in person, fully finished to show you. So I just put it on a hot pink background and finished it just like all of my other little monthly pieces that I've made from this series. And, oh, there's a string on it. Speaking of other monthly pieces from this series, I actually brought them all home from work. This marks my 6th piece, so we're halfway through the series. So I thought I would just kind of show you guys the ones I've made already, because obviously I have a nice little stack building here, and a lot of these I didn't get to show you all in person because I had already taken them to work after I had fully finished them. So I thought we'd kind of just go over them and you could see them all again. And also, if you're new here, I've been making these since August or July and hanging them up on my desk at work. So I'll just jump right in. This is July, and they're all stitched on 32 count beautiful beige linen. They're about like 3.5 by 4 inches, I think, the stitching. So this is July. It's finished on a purple fabric. And I did all my own like pulling from stash for these. So they're not exact colors that's called for, but they're pretty similar. Here is August. It's finished on like a turquoise background. And then we've got September, which is finished on a dark red. I hope they're focusing on that and not on my face. We've got October. Which is the same purple as July. And then I skipped over November and December. November is started but not done, and December is not even started. And then I did January. And this is on that same turquoise background as August. And then obviously I just showed you February, which is on the hot pink. Because like, how can you make February and not put it on pink, you know? So I am loving these. I think they're so, so cute. And yeah, I hope you all like them too. You can get these patterns on Etsy, and it comes in like 3 sets of 4. So, okay. Okay, so that's my only fully finished, but I do have another finish. I had talked about this in my January video, and I was hoping it would be a finish for February, and it was. And that is Friends. So excited. So if you haven't watched my videos before, this is one of my oldest pieces. I forget exactly when I started it, but it had to be like 2020-ish. I don't think it was earlier than that, but definitely years and years ago. And I hated working on it just because it was like huge blocks of color. And I pulled it out and I went on a road trip in January, and I was like, this is getting finished in the car because it's so easy. It's just 14 count white Aida. And I knocked it out. It's finally done, and it was one of my 2024 goals. So I'm super, super excited to have it done so early in the year. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to finish this into, but it's going to be some sort of bag or keeper or something like that that's like useful. I'm definitely not going to put it on my wall or like display it in my house, but I'm still proud of the project, so I want to have it in something that I can use for my stitching. So very excited about this finish. And that is from, it's an Etsy pattern. I should have looked this up before I did this. Happy Sloth Patterns on Etsy. If you're interested, they have a lot of similar patterns with like Disney princesses or Avengers, I think, or just like different character sets. So if that's something that you're interested in, definitely go check them out. It wasn't hard, it was just kind of boring when I had all this other stuff to stitch. So very excited about that. And now let's get into my whips / new starts. I have a couple new starts to show you guys. The first one, I guess I have my new starts on top, so we'll start with new starts. The first one you guys have seen, and I talked about a little in my last video, and it is Jacquelines View. And so here is the little pamphlet. Hope the glare is not too bad. But it's a little full coverage piece. And it's by Graphs by Barbara and Cheryl. And it's just a little leaflet. And this I'm stitching on 14 count like easy grid fabric. And I actually went to Keepsakes a couple weeks ago and kitted this up along with some other projects that I'm gonna show you. But I didn't want to commit to like kitting up the whole thing because it's a lot of floss. So I only pulled the colors for the 2 doors. And so that is where I'm starting. I'm just working my way down the doors. And then once I get one whole side done, I'll go to the other side. And this is what it looks like. This was another project I took on my little road trip that I mentioned at the end of January. We went to a friend's wedding, and so this was the perfect piece to bring because it didn't have that many colors. It was easy to follow along the pattern, and yeah, so I worked on this for a few days, and then I don't think I've picked it up since being home, but that's okay because I had a lot of other stuff to work on, which you'll see as we go through this. My other new start I started just a couple days ago, and that is March by Crochet Agogo, the same series that I just showed you with all the other little months. And so this is what March is gonna look like right here. I hope it's focusing. Yeah, with the little frog. And this is the saddest start I've ever put on a project ever. It's literally just these little green stitches in the middle, and that's it. I pulled this out the other day to start it, and I picked all my threads and put this first piece of thread in, and then I fell asleep. It took like an hour and a half nap because that was the day I was having. So I started it, but I'm really not sure how much progress we'll get on this in February if it'll be done for the 1st of March. I have a couple other projects that I'm really excited to work on this month, so we'll see. I'm not going to stress about it, but it started. At least it started. That's it for my 2 new starts, and then I just have a couple more whips to show you guys. And so the first one is Autumn's Glow, and this is from the Just Cross Stitch magazine, I think. Yeah, Just Cross Stitch, October 2023. And I'm obsessed with this pattern. I want it hanging in my house ASAP. That is the cover photo. And here is my progress. So I'm just working on the lantern in the middle. I did a center start. And this is just like a tea-dyed DMC linen from Michaels. I think it's 28 count. Nothing too fancy. But that's my start. It's looking great. I haven't worked on this since January. But I'll probably pull it back out in March after February's done. My next whip that you guys have seen before is Autumn in the City by Crochet Agogo. Here is that cover photo. I feel like I can't see if anything's in focus today, so I'm really just hoping it is. And this piece I love. You guys have seen this. I think I started it back in September for #BackToSchool with Lauren the New Hampshire Stitcher. And I was working on this, and I was gonna put it away at the beginning of February, but then it got called, the Pig Whip prompt got called for the first half of February, and there was a piece with flowers in it, which could have applied to a lot of stuff, but I picked it for this project, A, so that I didn't have to put it away when February started, and B, because I was really trying to get this top row done, which I did. So this was my pick a whip project for this month, or for the first half of the month, I should say. And if you're interested in playing pick a whip, following along with pick a whip, it is created by Marjorie Maid. So definitely go check out her Flosstube and Instagram to learn all about it, see what the prompts are. I didn't play it in January just because I didn't, but I did do this one in February, and depending on what the prompt is, I'll do it again for the next 2 weeks. But there's a different hashtag that I'm working on this month, so yeah, hashtag pick a whip. A Project with Flowers and Autumn in the City. Now that I have this top band done, I'm putting it away for a bit. This isn't, when I first pulled this out like at the beginning of the year, this was not like a piece I was obsessed with or really wanted to work on a ton. I thought I would work on Autumn's Glow more than I worked on this, but then I had it out for a couple of days and I was just like so hyper fixated on it. I love stitching it, and the closer I got to the end I was like, oh well, just another day and I'll be at the end, just another day. So I ended up finishing this top row I think on like February 4th, and then I put it away for a while, and we'll see when it comes back out. But it's on a 32 count taupe Lugana and it's super cute. So that is Autumn in the City. And then my last whip to show you guys is another hashtag, and it is hashtag Pink February Stitching. And this was created, I think, by Marjorie Maid, Canvas Stitcher, Bridget the Museum Stitcher. I assume Megan was also part of like the original group. And I apologize, I didn't look up like which all, but that whole group of friends was posting about Pink February Stitching, so I joined in. One of them made a super cute graphic to post on Instagram, so I'm sure you've seen a lot of people post with that, or you would see it if you look up the hashtag. And I was like, yes, I definitely want to do that. And then I went to my whips and I was like, I don't really have that many pink projects. February would have been a great project for Pink February Stitching, but I had already finished it, so obviously I couldn't do that. And so I settled on 2 projects, Summer Symphony and then Birdhouse Garden. And I posted them on my Instagram, and I decided I was gonna do Summer Symphony for the first 2 weeks of February and then Birdhouse Garden for the second 2 weeks. So I pulled it out, and Summer Symphony, I'll show it to you guys. It is a full coverage Bucilla kit. Again, this is my oldest whip. I don't love working on it. I rarely pull it out just because I wasn't feeling inspired. I was down here in this corner. I guess I could show you guys where I was, my progress when I pulled it out for February. A lot of like popcorn stitching. I was using the parking method, but it was just getting to be a mess because, I don't know, a couple years ago when I was doing the parking method, it was just, I was doing it really messy. And so I had pulled it out a couple of times, I think at the end of last year, and I just would do like 100 stitches and be like, no, I can't do this anymore. I'm bored. I don't want to do it. I don't like it. So I was going to push myself to make some progress for February. And when I pulled it out, I was like, you know what? I am not doing the parking method anymore. I don't like it. I just want to stitch what I want to stitch. I want to stitch a full color. I want to jump around. I want to just go where I feel like it. And so my original goal when I pulled this out was to just get all of these parked threads stitched, like stitch them in. What I ended up doing was finishing the second page of the project. So this is where we are. I am ecstatic. I honestly have been having so much fun stitching this, especially because like this is a huge block of color here, so like that obviously went pretty quick. I did that during the Super Bowl, the little path, but it is just looking so good. After I picked this up and I was like parking the threads, I became obsessed with this project. It was so fun. I still have some parked threads up here on the other side, which I'll do next. That'll be my next project, or my next like goal or task is to work all those in. But I'm just so proud that I have significant progress on this. I don't see this being a finish this year, but it could be a finish in the next 2 years, so we'll see. We'll see how it goes. This is almost definitely gonna come back out in March, because it's really like the most spring pattern I have. A lot of my other patterns are like wintry or Christmassy, or not wintry and Christmassy, but like fall themed, and then a couple Christmas ones, because fall is my favorite season, but then I don't really feel like stitching fall all the time in the spring. So this will come back out in February, but since it's, or I'm sorry, in March, but since it's the second half of February now, I'm gonna pull out Birdhouse Garden. I did pull it out last night, but I only got like 2 or 3 threads in, and then had to rip out those 2 or 3 threads and redo them because I did them wrong. So I'm not showing that. You guys will get to see that project in my March video. You'll probably see it on my Instagram before the March Flosstube comes out, just because I want to post it for like the end of February. But yeah, that is all of my whips that I worked on for the past month since I saw you guys last. But like I said earlier, I did make a trip to Keepsakes, which is my LNS, even though it's an hour and a half away. It's the closest one I have, and I love it there. So I went up a couple of weeks ago, and I kitted up not only Jacquelines View, but a couple other projects that I have in the works and want to start this year. The first one is Santa's alphabet, and I'm hoping this can be a gift for Graham's mom, my fiance. TBD, because I thought I would have started it already, and I didn't. So plans change, that is okay. But this is like the alphabet that I'm going to be doing, but I'm going to be spelling out Graham's last name instead, and my future last name. And so this I stitched up, or got the floss for. I'm going to be doing it on 32 count taupe Lugana, which is the same as Autumn in the City. I took this piece of scrap with me. I had this already in my stash, but I just wasn't sure how the called for colors were going to go with it. This is a black and white leaflet, so I couldn't see the colors. But I ended up loving them all. The only thing I'm going to change is like the actual color of the letters. It calls for like a super light color. I think it's 822, I think. Yeah, 822 is the color that it calls for, which is like a super light beigey gray color. And I just wasn't vibing with that on the taupe. So I'm gonna use all the called for colors for like Santa and his face and his suit and stuff, but then I'm gonna be using 839, this brown, as my letter color. And I think it's gonna look really, really nice on the fabric. See if I can hold this up for you guys to see it. I think it'll complement each other really well. There was a over-dyed thread that I really liked, or a hand-dyed thread that I really liked, that was similar to this color, but I just didn't want to commit to that as a gift. But we'll see how I like it with the DMC, because I plan to stitch this for me at some point also for my future house after we're married, and Hess is my last name. So we'll see how I feel about it, and then maybe I'll get the over-dyed for me, maybe I'll like a different color, we'll see. But super excited about this. Not sure when it's gonna get started, but by July it should be started, because I want it to be a Christmas gift. So that is Santa's alphabet. And then the next project, which is also gonna be a gift, is Let's Make Memories by Imaginating. And so I showed this to you guys last time as well, but I didn't have any fabric that I liked for it. So I ended up getting this sparkly 28 count linen casual opalescent white linen. Sorry, I was just reading off the tag. I guess I read it kind of weird. But it's just a sparkly piece of linen. Super, pretty simple. I wasn't sure if I wanted to do like a colored piece or what. But I ended up just going with white because I think it'll look nice, and nothing was speaking to me except for the sparkly one. So I hope this person likes it. But along with the linen, I got the 3 threads that are going to be used for the camera shutter, which is just like 3 grays. And I have those all set and ready to go. I also have a ton of black that I thrifted, which is like around the house somewhere. I think I put it in a project bag, but I'll have to find it before I pull it out. But yeah, the last piece that I'll update you guys on is Cherished Dreams by Leisure Arts. This is another leaflet I showed you guys in January. And I did decide that I'm gonna use this 25 count. I don't remember what kind of fabric this is, but it was something I had in stash that I thrifted. I pulled a bunch of the colors for this project while I was at Keepsakes and kind of just laid them against the fabric, and I do really like it. I think it's gonna look nice. I just wasn't ready to spend that much, so I am gonna save it. We'll see when I start it, but I do like this fabric, so I'm keeping them together and most likely using this fabric when I start this project. And that I think is everything that I had to show you guys today. I hope you're having a great February. I hope you had a nice Valentine's Day, whether you celebrated with a romantic partner or friends or whatever it is. I hope you guys have a great rest of the week, and I'll see you guys all in my next Flosstube. Thanks for watching.